might be. And we've asked Mr. Tyrone Williams to open this section of the program, so I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. It is so good to see everyone. It's been a minute, as they say. The meal was delicious. I was telling Angelique and David and Renee, you know, when you retire, you get a meal anywhere you can. It's a pretty good deal. So I really appreciate that. You learn to hang out at Sam's Club at the right time. See what you get. But, oh, Danny, by the way, this is not a state issue. State issue here, that's what you know. I don't think. You know, when I was first asked to have some remarks today, you know, I asked Katina and Darren if they thought that was a good idea, if they were sure, because that can be real dangerous. Because most of you all that know me know that I had very little restraint in expressing my thoughts and views when I was working. So you can only imagine what this year of marinating in retirement has done to me. Political correctness is no longer a large part of my thought process. And you know, it's never been a part of Renee's thought process. I'm just kidding.
No, he meant that.
So, you know, where does this story start? You know, does it start, you know, so long ago? It seems like it was, you know, right after the animals got off the ark, or, you know, like a small baby or something. But it really wasn't that long ago. But, you know, it's a rich story of hard work, of perseverance, determination, and of trust. And for me, this story began on January the 1st of 1983. My first day at the North Carolina Informed Security Commission in the Roanoke Rapids local office. You know, I haven't said that name much lately since the powers that be put that puppy to bed. But this story begins a little earlier for Renee, because she had already started her career a few months earlier. And this journey took us both through the best and the worst of times with ESC, spanning over 30 years to get us to where we are today. So Renee and I have been co-workers for over 30 years. But most importantly, we've been friends over this entire 30-year period. You know, we don't go to work to make friends. We go to work to do a job. But it's an extra blessing when you find lifelong friends along the way. And that's truly what I've found, and I'm sure others have found in the way. So back then, our days were filled with microfiche machines, paper job orders that were in a laundry basket, playing punch cards, and paper 511s. Now, somebody out there knows what a paper 511 is.
Yeah.
Okay? But they were, for those of you that don't, they were handwritten applications by the applicant. And we had a great staff in the office in those days. And it's so good to see Renee Amen here as well, because I've got her in here. We had two Renees in our office at the time, so we would prod the applicants with all kinds of descriptions to try to see which Renee they wanted to see. They would say, the one with long hair, had that. Or they would say the skinny one, both were skinny. They would never say the mean one, because that wouldn't have helped either. Finally, we or either the applicant would say, you know, the white one or the black one. And we knew which Renee they wanted to see. Well, you know, and also to complicate matters, before Renee was married, she was a Fincher. Well, we also had an R. Mincher in our office as well. So we had to deal with having an R. Mincher and an R. Fincher. So again, we had a white Fincher and a black Mincher. It sounds like some kind of species of bird or something. But finally, Renee solved that problem when she married the love of her life, David Taylor. Now, David, either you or Renee owe me for that, because that was not in here at the beginning. And they were married. And I really want to paint a picture here of the closeness and the trust that co-workers in our office had at that time. Renee's wedding, and I don't know some of those pictures, but Renee's wedding, Renee asked me to be the videographer for her wedding. That's how close we were. And that was in
87.
Okay. Well, back. Well, time passed and Angelique was born. Hi, Angelique. And I can recall Angelique was growing up as my own sons were growing up, and we would try to advise each other on parenting skills. And as time passed, I left to run the graphics office, but Renee and I remained close. At some point, Renee, after being promoted within the run graphics office, the branch office position came available in Warrenton. Well, I have to tell you that there were a core group of us that encouraged each other in those days, as there were very, very few African Americans in management positions. So we kept each other lifted up and encouraged. Renee became the branch manager in Warrenton, and then I went to the local office manager in Henderson. And ultimately, she became the first female African American regional manager in the history of our agency. So how does one get to accomplish such a feat and have such a distinguished career? Well, I think Renee's traits as a venture were firm and fair. When she became a tailor, they were talented and tenacious. And I believe that she would say, throw me to the wolves, and I'll return leading the pack. And for those of you that don't know, Renee is a Trekkie. She has truly lived Spark's statement, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So if you thought she had you in her crosshairs, it wasn't about you. It was about the greater good. And you know, Renee likes Judge Judy. You know, I don't know where you think Judge Judy gets her one-liners from. She gets it from Renee. And she also likes the TV show Unsolved Mysteries. Once Renee and her regional staff get on a case, I can assure you that the unsolved mystery becomes a solved case. So this new TV show, I get to look at a lot of TV now. This new TV show, How to Get Away with Murder, it's not going to last an entire season when Renee retired, because she's going to solve everything in the first episode. So Renee, now it's time for you to do what you want to do, especially those things that you long to do that did not seem so politically correct because you were in state government, like my earring. Spend time with your family, as yours is getting ready to grow some more. Poor little baby.
Which one?
You know, that baby's going to be running NC Works. I was bad. So if your first year of retirement is anything like mine, then 2015 is going to be a hell of a year for you. No more NC Works. No more workforce development board meetings. No more office moves. No more logging long travel hours across the state. No more workforce development conferences. No more emails to read or pretending to read.
And they'll be thankful they won't get emails.
That's right. I told Renee that we grew up together. Before I retired, we'd even got to a point where we knew what each other was thinking. And that was real scary, I can tell you, for both of us. Well, I could talk all day about, you know, Renee and all the times that we've had from 1984 to now. We've been each other's sounding board, each other's shoulder, each other's confidant, and each other's rock over the years. And if I can think like Renee just one more time, I think here's what she and I both would say to our workforce family at this point. Embrace and help your new culture in the North Carolina Department of Commerce and in the workforce system. Help it to change and adapt, but retain the closeness to each other and to your customers that impacts and leads to significant change in those folks' lives. And I think that she would specifically quote Maya Angelou by saying, all of us knows not what is expedient, not what is going to make us popular, not what the policy is or the company policy, but in truth, each of us knows what is the right thing to do, and that's how I am guided. So Renee, as you ride off into the sunset on your white horse, white Corolla, I leave you, and I couldn't do this, so I had to draw it. I leave you with the Vulcan salutation of live long. God bless.
We have a couple presentations to make, but before I ask those gentlemen to do that, I want to give you guys the floor if there's anybody that would like to make any remarks.